At 3:12 p.m., something heavy slides through my mail slot and hits the floor with a thud that sounds like a small decision being made without me. My apartment smells like coffee and last night's lemon pasta. The window AC growls, then settles. Outside, someone is walking a dog that refuses the heat. I pad over in socks. An envelope sits on my rug, cream and thick, calligraphy trying hard. The return address is the future Mr. And Mrs. Zach and Brooke, the font swirls like a ribbon. The RSVP card inside is already stamped. The little box is checked. Joyfully accepts. On the back flap, return to Lena Carter, 2B, my name, my address, my apartment number, on 300 pieces of cardstock I did not approve. Another thud, then another. The next hour becomes a pattern. Thud, bend, sigh, stack. I line them on the console table like bricks. Green, blush, eggshell. Postmarks from 3 states. Some guests wrote notes in the margin. Can't wait! We'll bring the lemon bars! Do you need extra folding chairs? Their excitement makes my chest tight in the way generosity sometimes does when you're not consulted. I text my cousin Brooke, "Did you use my address on your RSVP cards?" Her typing bubble pops up immediately, then disappears, then returns. Brooke, "Oh my gosh, yes! Thank you. You're so organized and your building actually gets mail. Ours is in flux. Long story. Super easy for you, right? You're home so much." I stare at, "You're home so much. I work from home 3 days a week. That doesn't make my mailbox a public utility." Me, "You didn't ask." Brooke, "I meant to. It was a rush print job. The calligrapher needed a return address and Mom said use yours. You're reliable." Me, "This is a lot of mail. I need a plan for pickups." Brooke, "We'll swing by after the shower this weekend? Or just text me totals. Zach's mom needs head count." A second text lands before I can answer. A screenshot of a Facebook post on the wedding page. Brooke, forwarded. "PSA, if you haven't mailed your RSVP, please send ASAP to our cousin Lena's address listed. Chicago mail is slow, so don't delay. Chicago mail is slow. My building is slow." I add the phrase to the stack. At 4:48 p.m., my aunt, Brooke's mom, calls. "Honey, you're a lifesaver." The printer needed an address and I thought, Lena will handle it. You always do. I didn't agree. I say. "I was going to text you," she says, like, "was going to" counts the same as did. "Listen, can you collect totals nightly? Put them in a Google sheet, and if people forget to write their names, just call them? Use the return address to reverse lookup or whatever you young folks do." A thud interrupts her. I add another envelope to the line. "I'm not the call center," I say. She laughs the way people do when you tell a joke you didn't intend. "You're so funny." Zach's mom has seating anxiety. Bless her heart. It would help. After we hang up, I stand in the doorway and look at the wall of envelopes like I'm volunteering at the post office I didn't apply to. I open a banker's box. I label it. I print a simple spreadsheet. Name/postmark/received/note. If I'm doing this, I'm doing it clean. At 6:05 p.m., my best friend Jenna buzzes. She shows up with paper towels and a bar of good chocolate, and the face she uses when she knows I'm about to swallow something I shouldn't have to. I tell her. She eats a square, chews twice, and says, "Nope." Nope what? Nope to being the wedding's mailroom. You can be kind without being a service. I pull a stack of envelopes to me, breathing in that paper smell that's equal parts tree and intention. I'll sort what came today. Then I'm setting a boundary. "Say it out loud," Jenna says. "I'm not your return address," I say. It feels silly and solid all at once. Good, she says. Write it down. I do. On a sticky note. Not your return address. I stick it to my fridge next to the last electric bill. The line looks like a rule and a reminder. By Saturday, both bankers' boxes are half full. By Sunday, my aunt posts a cute graphic on Facebook. If you haven't heard back from us, it's because Chicago mail is slow. Poor Lena. She's buried in envelopes. The comments are LOL and hang in there, girl, and one from my mother. Lena's always been our organized one. Organized in my family is their code for we can hand it to her. I text Brooke, pick up today? 4 p.m. She replies at 3:59. Running late. Dad's car. Tomorrow? No, I type. Then delete it. Then type. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. After that, I'll be returning mail. A dot. Pause. Brooke. Returning? Why would you return other people's RSVPs? That's mean. Me. What's mean is using my address without asking and then blaming me when you don't have your count. There's a long gap. Then, wow. Okay. And a gif of someone rolling their eyes that I decide not to dignify with a reply. At 6 p.m. on Monday, no one comes. I stack the boxes by the door and make myself dinner. The envelopes wait. The sticky note on my fridge glows like a tiny road sign. Not your return address. By Tuesday morning, I stop counting individual thuds and just note totals. 27 delivered, 4 misaddressed, 1 with glitter that will be in my socks until November. I create a binder with tabs A to Z and slide each RSVP behind the right letter with a copy of its envelope. I take photos of postmarks. I upload the spreadsheet to a shared drive and send Brooke a link. Me. All items logged here. Pickup window this week. Wednesday 12 to 2, Thursday 5 to 7, Friday 5 sharp. After that, I will return to sender or to you. Brooke. Can you just text me the yes/no count? We're at brunch tasting and my phone is dying. Also, can you message anyone who hasn't responded? The site shows who viewed the page but didn't RSVP. Me. No, I'm not your coordinator. Please pick up. She switches tactics. Mom says your building loses packages. Maybe that's the delay. We should have used a P.O. box. My chest heats. Yes, I text. You should have. I add a smiley so we don't declare war over a fact. At 3:41 p.m., my aunt calls from speakerphone in her minivan. Brooke's in tears. She says you threatened to return mail. Why are you doing this to her? I asked for pickups, I say. 3 times. You're punishing her because you're jealous, she says, like she found the root. I stare at the edge of my countertop until it stops doubling. I'm not jealous of being assigned a chore, I say. I'm setting a boundary. My address is not a service. She sighs to the rhythm of a left turn. You kids and your boundaries. In my day, family pitched in. In my day, I say steady. We ask before we pitch a job at one person. I hang up before she can make me the villain they need. I look at the binder. It looks like proof. It looks like work. Downstairs, I find Mr. Brooks, our postal clerk, sliding mail into boxes with the efficiency of someone who enjoys a puzzle. He's 60-ish and wears a Chicago Cubs cap even in winter. I hold up a banker's box. We need to talk about bulk returns. He smiles. My favorite topic after baseball. I explain. The invitations, the unasked address, the late pickup, the Facebook blur blaming Chicago mail. He listens without interrupting. When I finish, he leans on the counter. You've been respectfully used, he says. Happens a lot with organized people. You look like a shelf. I laugh because it's true. What are my options? Option 1, he says. You keep holding their mail and resenting them. Option 2, You text a pickup deadline. When they miss it, you return the lot. Where do I return it? I ask. Return to sender if there's a return address, he says. Or, and his eyes spark, you box it to the couple's new address. Short postage. We'll mark postage due. They'll have to pay to retrieve it. That prompts learning. Is that petty? I ask. It's proportional, he says. You gave a deadline. They ignored it. Now you give them their mail in a way that reminds them mail costs. Boundaries cost, too. I breathe out. The word proportional fits in my ribs. What will it cost them? Depends on ounces, he says. 3 bankers' boxes, probably a nice dinner's worth. I imagine Brooke's spreadsheet with a new line item. I don't want to hurt her. I want to stop being quietly hurt. I'll set one more pickup, I say. Then we box. On Wednesday, I text one last time. Final pickup. Friday, 5 p.m. Sharp in the lobby. After that, all items go in the mail to your address. No reply from Brooke. But my phone lights with family group messages I can see even though I wasn't invited to the chat. My Aunt Diane, the nice one, forwards me a screenshot by mistake. Wedding task force. Mom. We need RSVPs. Why is the count low? Brooke. Ask Lena. She's holding them hostage. Zach's mom. Use someone else next time. My mom. Chicago mail is slow. It's not Lena's fault. Brooke. She threatened to return them. Who does that? I look at my sticky note. Not your return address. I add a second one under it. Not your scapegoat. At 4:58 p.m. on Friday, I carry the 2 bankers' boxes down to the lobby and wait. People come in with grocery bags and kick their sandals off. The mailman waves. The second hand on the lobby clock crawls. At 5:07 p.m., Mr. Brooks appears with a dolly. No show, he asks. No show, I say. There's a small ache under my breastbone that feels like 40 different family dinners. You ready? He asks. I nod. He loads the boxes. We wheel them down the block to the post office like a parade of just enough. At the counter, I fill out 2 big manila labels. 2, Brooke and Zach, 1117 Maple, Unit 4, their new condo they bragged about on Instagram. Mr. Brooks weighs the boxes. He looks at me over the scale. We'll run it as postage due, he says. Insufficient postage. They'll get the slips. I slide a note into each box before he tapes them. A simple typed page, "Hi Brooke and Zach, RSVP mail for your wedding was sent to my address without my consent. I asked 3 times for pickup. As of today, I am returning what I've received to your address. Please stop using my address. Please update your guests to send future communications to you directly or to your wedding website. Lena." Mr. Brooks seals the boxes with that ripping sound that feels like a line being drawn. He stamps each one. Postage due. Red. Loud. You can be here when they come to pay, he says. Or not. Not? I say. I'm going to buy myself dinner. I text Brooke from the sidewalk. Mail returned to your address. Please stop using mine. See your wedding site for a digital RSVP option. I copy the exact sentence from their homepage so we can all live in the same reality. My phone explodes with replies I don't open. I put it on Do Not Disturb and walk to the diner on the corner where the waitress calls me sweetheart and knows I want extra pickles. I order a burger and a chocolate shake and eat like a person who just carried a dolly and let go of a job that wasn't hers. When I get home, there's a new thud. I don't flinch. I leave it where it falls and take a shower so hot it erases Friday. Saturday morning, I run into Aunt Diane outside the farmer's market. She squeezes my hand. Saw the boxes, she says. Good for you. I don't want to be cruel. I say. You weren't, she says. You were clear. She leans in. They had to pay $62 at the counter. Your uncle said Zach's face did a thing. I laugh then, the kind of laugh that unclenches your jaw. I hope the thing was called lesson. On Tuesday, Brooke texts, "Can we talk?" I choose the coffee shop 3 blocks from my place. Neutral ground, good muffins, no microphones. She arrives with sunglasses on top of her head and a tote that says, "Bride in glitter." Zach follows a step behind, hands in pockets, a man performing casual. My aunt trails them, peacekeeper uniform, cardigan, smile, eyes that say, "Please just be normal." We sit. I set the binder on the table. Its weight calms me. It looks like preparation, not aggression. Brooke starts fast. You humiliated me. I take a breath. I set a deadline. You missed it. I returned your mail to you. That's not humiliation. That's what mail is for. Postage due, Zach says, eyebrows up. Postage due reminded you mail costs, I say. So do people. Brooke looks at my aunt. See? She's making everything about her. Aunt Diane stirs her coffee like it's a mindfulness practice. Brooke, she's making it about her address. I open the binder. Tabs flutter like small flags. Received by date, I say, tapping the column. Photos of postmarks. Notes when people wrote special things. I logged everything I touched. I texted. I set windows. My hand is steady. I slide a sheet across the table, a color printout of my spreadsheet. Here's your count as of Friday at 5 p.m. Zach looks despite himself. Numbers soothe him. I can tell by the way his shoulders drop. We thought we were missing 50, he says. You weren't. You were missing pickups, I say. And the part where you ask people before you paste their addresses onto your problem. Brooke crosses her arms. We used your address because our building's mailroom is a mess. You used my address because I'm reliable, I say. That's your code for we can hand it to her. She flinches. For a second, I see us at the kids' table, her pushing peas onto my plate. You're so good at this stuff, she says, softer now. I freak out. Being good at something doesn't turn me into free labor, I say. You could have asked. She exhales like a balloon, letting go carefully. You're right. We should have asked. The words sound new in her mouth. Zach rubs the back of his neck. It's just, we've got a million moving pieces. The venue needs headcount. The DJ wants a timeline. My mom is over-involved, I offer. He smiles despite himself. Yes. I'm happy to be a guest, I say. Not your admin. My aunt reaches into her tote and pulls out a white envelope. She slides it across the table. For the boxes. I don't pick it up. I don't need your money. It's not about the money, she says. It's about the moment you were the only grown-up in the room. I laugh into my sleeve because I don't want to cry. Fine, I say, tucking it under the binder. But I'm not cashing a fee. I'm buying myself a plant. Buy 2, she says. Brooke's chin wobbles the tiniest bit. My feelings are hurt, she admits. Not because you returned the mail. Because you didn't give me grace. I gave you 3 windows, I say gentle. And a dolly. She lifts her coffee and sets it down without drinking. What do you need from me? I pull a 1-page printout from the back pocket of the binder. Title, bold, top. RSVP address correction. Update your wedding website today. Change return address to your own plus online link. Post in your wedding. FB group. Our return address was wrong. Please send to us directly or RSVP online. DM guests whose cards came back. Stop telling people Chicago mail is slow. The problem was not the mail. Do not use my address for wedding business. Do not put it on future mailers. Optional, acknowledge publicly that I helped, not hurt. Brooke reads. Zach reads over her shoulder. He nods. We can do this. Brooke bites her lip. The Facebook group will roast me. Then lead it, I say. Say you learned. People like that more than they like perfection. Aunt Diane presses her hands together like a prayer. Amen. Brooke takes a breath and moves her sunglasses from her head to the table. She looks like my cousin again, not a brand. Okay, she says. We'll post it today. Send me a screenshot, I say, not because I need to control it, but because I've learned that screenshots are how you keep the future honest. We sit a while. We talk about playlists. I suggest September for the dance floor. Zach writes it in his notes app like I'm the DJ's assistant, and then laughs when he realizes. Old habits, he says. When they leave, my aunt hugs me in the parking lot. I'm proud of you, she says. You're changing how we do things. I'm trying to change how we do me, I say. That's enough. I go home and water my pothos and open the envelope and find $60 in cash and a sticky note for plants and pickles. Love, Aunt D. I buy a snake plant that afternoon. I set it by the door where the banker's boxes sat. It looks like a guard. By the end of the week, Brooke posts a correction in the wedding group. The tone is right. We messed up. We used the wrong return address. Please send RSVPs to us directly or use the online form. Big thanks to Lena for sorting what arrived. We've picked everything up and are on track. If you got a postage due notice from the post office, our bad. We'll reimburse. The comments are kind. People add heart emojis. One aunt tells a story about 1997 and a P.O. box drought. Someone posts a gif of a mailbox getting a hug. I breathe easier than I have since the first thud. Saturday morning, I take a small stack of late RSVPs to Mr. Brooks. He looks over the rim of his glasses. More? Stragglers, I say. I'm forwarding to their address with proper postage like a nice person. He stamps them and gives me a look that is equal parts approval and conspiracy. Just checking, he says. On the wedding day, the sky is the precise blue of something borrowed. The venue is a renovated brick building with string lights and a rule about confetti. I wear a navy dress with pockets. I drive myself. I arrive on time. I bring my gift in a box with their address on it, not mine. The check-in table has a sign that says cards here and a basket that looks like it came from a magazine. Two teens in matching outfits guard it with the seriousness of TSA. I am not asked to help. The relief is a quiet hum in my spine. My mother waves me over by the lemonade. She's in a dress I recognize from a sale rack and a necklace I gave her on a birthday that fell on a weekday. She kisses my cheek. You were right, she says. No preface, no performance. About what? I ask, because it helps to make people say the thing. About asking, she says. About not building a whole wedding on your back because you know how to hold things. I squeeze her hand. Thank you. She lowers her voice. Your aunt wanted to make you be in charge of gifts tonight. I told her no. Progress, I say. At dinner, Zach's toast is surprisingly good. He thanks his parents, Brooke's parents, the friend who introduced them, the bartender for not judging me during margarita math, and then he looks at me. And thanks to Lena, he says, for teaching us how to do mail and boundaries like adults. We paid the postage like grown-ups. People laugh. I feel 17 pairs of eyes on me and do the smallest wave a person can do without looking like a pageant contestant. I'm not a prop. I'm a person who returned envelopes. After the first dance, I slip outside for 5 minutes of quiet. The air smells like summer, and the alley behind the venue smells like the restaurants that made it. I lean against the brick and watch a delivery driver back into a spot like a pro. The moon is thin and trying. Jenna slides out with 2 mini cupcakes. "You didn't murder anyone," she says, "and you look hot." "I returned mail," I say. "Same difference," she says, handing me the chocolate one. "Text on a cake next time." I laugh. "Maybe a banner, not your return address." She nods toward the door. "It's your cousin's party." "You staying for the bouquet toss?" "No," I say. "I'm going home to water my snake plant." We hug in the alley the way friends do when the music is too loud in the place where the music lives. On my way out, I pass the gift table. There's a small sign I didn't notice earlier, handwritten in Brooke's neat block letters. "Please do not send cards or packages to anyone else's address." It makes me smile all the way to my car. When I get home, my apartment is the temperature of good sleep. The fridge hums. The sticky notes on the door have curled at the corners. I smooth them. "Not your return address. Not your scapegoat." I add a new one beneath them in a different color. "Ask first. Answer honestly." It's for me as much as for them. On Monday, my building's mail slot thuds once around noon. I wander over. An envelope slides in slow, like it knows it's in the wrong movie. I flip it over. Another RSVP, late, addressed to me. I open it and find a note tucked inside. "We saw the post and felt bad. Returning this to the right address. Congrats to Brooke and Zach. P.S. Good on you, Lena." There's a smiley face, drawn like a small sun. I forward it to their place with regular old postage and a stamp with a fern on it because I liked the fern. It feels ordinary. It feels clean. That night, I eat leftovers on my couch and work my way through thank you emails for a work project because I like the feeling of finishing something that is actually mine. The plant by the door catches the last light and looks like it's applauding. My phone buzzes. A photo from Aunt Diane. Brooke and Zach asleep on their honeymoon flight, mouths open. A stack of RSVP cards like a fan in Brooke's lap. Caption: "They learned." Another message pops up from my mother. "We're proud of you. Also, what's the name of your postal guy? He was very kind when we paid." I send her Mr. Brooks and a heart. I turn off the lamp. The room goes soft. In the quiet, I can hear the tiny things that used to be loud when I didn't have lines. The fridge clicking on, the streetlight buzzing, a neighbor's laugh through the wall. I didn't burn anything down. I returned mail. I returned a job to its owners. I returned myself to a person who doesn't hold a family together by being a shelf. Addresses tell people where to send things. Boundaries tell people where to stop. Both work better when you write them clearly. I wash my plate. I set it in the rack. I look at the door, the slot, the plant, the notes, and I feel that particular American relief of a simple win. A problem solved with a dolly, a receipt, and a steady voice. The next morning, when the slot opens and an envelope slides onto my rug, I leave it there until lunch. Not because I'm being dramatic, because I'm not the return address, and I have coffee to make, and a life to answer to that does not arrive in cream cardstock with someone else's font.